Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Esther Nyaribari. Maybe it's your first time watching me. Please subscribe and share. Let's work together. So I'm still on the school I was enrolled in from one. So for those who watched the first and the second videos, so I think we're together. And if you haven't watched the first and the second, maybe you can't really understand where I started. But then let me continue. So we traveled on a Monday and then we go to school on a Tuesday morning. And then on Wednesday, we're given uniforms. I remember we were given red skirts and red cardigans and white blouses. So we were told like the long sleeved sweaters zilikuwa zimeisha, so we were given sleeveless. And then now we wanted to know the name of the school because we were new here, so that we can maybe call home and tell them the school is called this and this, it's situated here, so that maybe if somebody is in Nairobi and could wish to visit us, so it could be easier because now they know where we are. And to our surprise, the sleeveless sweaters we were given, the name of the school was abbreviated, so it was hard for us to know which school we were in. And then for the other older students who were there, they had long sleeved sweaters, but some part on the badge was cut. So you couldn't really tell the name of the school, and it had no signpost or something. So, we're new here and we're very young and we don't have the courage to question the ones we got in the school. So we stay there and life is so hard here, from the toilets, from the boarding facility, the classes. I remember all round the school was mabati walled. And then I remember the toilets, they were so messy and choo zimejaa and hakuna gari imekuja kutoa, so kuna magunyu, for those ones who understand that. Kuna wadudu all over the place, like choo imejaa mpaka imemwagika imeenda na huko nje, so whenever you want to use the loo, like unarukaruka space yenye unaona ni safi unaweza kanyaga. And then another issue ilikuwa ni maji. Kulikuwa na kisima, but ilikuwa na maji kidogo, of which if you wake up as early as 4 ndo unaweza pata maji kidogo. So maji 3 liters, hiyo ndio maji utakunywa, ndio maji utaoga and uoshe sahani. So I remember we used to eat and then like you clean the plate by your tongue, like, you see that. So that is how we used to survive. And kijiko pia you use it, and then after you're done you make sure it's clean by your tongue. No, you put it aside for another use, for another time. So life was very hard. And you remember venye nimetoka reserve, I didn't have pocket money, like the life back at home wasn't so good. My dad, my mom didn't have a phone, so communication was hard. I didn't like the place, so I wanted to call home and tell them that the situation is not good. So we used to have simu jamii hapo nje ya gate, so we could go there. And it's so hectic, like it's not calling directly to my dad. I used to call my uncle, Komaruko, rest in peace. So I used to call him and then tell him to tell my dad. So I told him, one time I called and told him, Uncle, tell dad, this is not a good school and I don't think I like it and I don't want to stay here. So when my uncle told my dad about it, so my dad was like, oh, Vumilia, it shall be well, it's because you're new there, you'll get used to it. And okay, I didn't want to stress them back at home because I knew the kind of stress and and all that. So nika relax. And I came to realize like this school was purely run by well-wishers. The administrator of the school um, relied on well-wishers. So if there are no well-wishers, um, then it means there's no food and we could survive sometimes. And sometimes it gets to lunchtime, we out of classes and there's no food. So you just sit there in the dormitories. Maybe some of the people who had some money, you can go buy something. I remember that time we used to buy mandazi soup. So you go there, get your mandazi soup, and maybe go back to school to class. So life was that way. And I remember one time our head boy came to the dorms and told us we're going to fetch firewood. Wherever we were going to fetch firewood from, I don't know. So they waited and it was like 6:30 somewhere. We went to some forest around and fetched firewood. So you can imagine we're going to fetch firewood at around 6:37. So can you imagine we coming back and the firewood is coming to be used for supper, to be used for dinner. So sometimes we even used to have supper at 11, at 10 or so. And okay, life was that. And it was so hard for us. I even remember some subjects like physics and geography. I was never even introduced to those subjects because we didn't have enough teachers. And I came to realize now after I have stayed there, I've made friends, I can inquire one, two, three. I came to realize I was enrolled in a rehabilitation come children's home center. Yeah, because the abbreviation it was some names and then rehabilitation center. So that is how I found myself in a rehabilitation center. When I was realizing I'm in a rehabilitation center, I was like, how now? And of course, we had coaches for games. We used to be given some kits. We used to go to some poster grounds for practice and all that. But why could I be enrolled in a children's home in a rehabilitation center? And you know, I think it was because of our family background. We didn't have money, we didn't have that knowledge about the school. We didn't know anything about it. And I guess even my family members up to now, they've never known I was enrolled in a rehabilitation center. So